Imagine you're standing in your own kitchen just trying to make breakfast.
Right, just a totally normal, quiet morning.
Exactly. You're pouring a cup of coffee. Maybe you're having a private conversation with your roommate,
Yeah.
and suddenly this robotic, disembodied voice just blasts from a speaker mounted in the corner of the ceiling.
Oh, wow. That sounds terrifying.
It is, and it doesn't just interrupt you, it aggressively accuses you of a crime you didn't commit.
Unbelievable.
Or, it drops this highly personal rumor about your dating life, and then it just abruptly cuts out.
I mean, you would flinch. Your roommate would just stare at you.
Yeah, the tension in the room just instantly spikes. And the craziest part about all of this,
What's that?
someone, somewhere on the internet just paid $5 to make that happen.
Right. They literally bought the right to inflict that psychological distress on you.
In real time, from thousands of miles away.
It completely upends our traditional understanding of what it means to be an audience member.
Oh, absolutely.
You are no longer just passively watching a broadcast on a screen. You are actively purchasing the ability to manipulate the physical environment of the person you're watching.
You're pulling the strings in their actual living room.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at that scenario from the outside, your first instinct is probably to analyze the people involved, right?
Sure. You'd want to know, who sent the message? Why are they so angry?
Exactly. And, how is the person making breakfast going to react to it?
Right.
But what if the actual engine driving that whole bizarre human interaction isn't the psychology of the individuals at all?
That's the real question.
What if the real story is the invisible digital architecture that made the interaction possible in the first place?
Because that invisible architecture dictates everything. I mean, the buttons we press, the alerts we hear,
Yeah.
the specific ways a platform allows us to spend money, these aren't just neutral features.
Not at all.
They are highly calculated environments that actually architect our behavior.
Which brings us to the core of our deep dive today. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
Thrilled to be here for this one.
Today, we are peeling back the interface of this rapidly evolving digital landscape.
We're looking specifically at the unseen mechanics of today's biggest live streaming platforms.
Right. We're talking about Bigo Live, Kick, and TikTok.
And we are exploring all of this through this incredibly fascinating collision between human journalism and artificial intelligence.
Yeah, the foundation for this exploration is it's a really remarkable set of source materials
We're looking at an essay and a set of really detailed script notes.
titled Keeping It Real: How I Write Couch Commentary and Why the Tech Keeps Tripping Up.
And these were written by journalist Twane Yvette. Right?
Yes, who is known to her deeply dedicated audience as Queen T.
Queen T, exactly.
And what makes her perspective so vital here is that she isn't just a casual observer.
No, not at all.
She is actively reporting from the trenches of these internet subcultures.
She documents the hyper niche digital drama.
The sprawling virtual economies.
Yeah, and the really outsized personalities that completely dominate these platforms.
And she is doing this reporting at a moment of, frankly, profound technological anxiety.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we are currently watching the entire media industry grapple with the integration of large language models.
LLMs, yeah, and all these AI summarization tools.
The prevailing fear out there is really just that the machine will replace the reporter.
Right, that the human element is going to become obsolete. But Queen T takes this completely different, incredibly pragmatic approach.
She really does. She's actually learning to master AI tools, like Notebook LM, at a blistering pace.
She uses the machine to process her incredibly dense field notes.
Yeah, and to adapt her verified journalism across all these multiple formats, right?
Like blogs, essays, podcasts, videos.
Just to keep up with the sheer velocity of the internet.
See, because it moves so fast. But, and this is crucial, she draws a very hard, very necessary line in the sand.
A really important boundary.
I actually want to read a direct declaration she makes to her audience.
Who she affectionately calls her teacups.
Yes, her teacups. Because this declaration, it's basically the thesis statement for everything we are unpacking today.
It's honestly a manifesto for modern independent media.
It really is. So here's what she writes. She says, as you know, the digital landscape moves fast, and I am learning to use and master AI tools at a very fast pace to help me bring these stories to life across blogs, essays, podcasts, and videos.
Right.
But let me make something entirely clear. I write my own material. I am a real journalist, I am a university graduate, and my voice, my integrity, and my research are behind everything you see and hear on Couch Commentary or all of my platforms. Tech is a tool, but the journalism belongs to me.
Tech is a tool, but the journalism belongs to me. I mean, wow.
It's so powerful.
That distinction right there is practically the only thing standing between a verified historical record of our digital culture
Yeah.
and just a chaotic, hallucinated mess.
Seriously, she is clearly delineating the critical difference between scaling a human voice and automating one.
Let's break down that difference because it is a trap that a lot of creators are falling into right now.
Oh, constantly.
Automating a voice means you just feed a generic prompt into an AI.
Right. Write me a script about TikTok drama.
Exactly. And the AI scrapes whatever statistical averages it can find on the internet, and it just spits out this synthesized, soulless block of text.
Which you then pass off as your own.
Right. You are entirely outsourcing the thinking.
Which is the opposite of what Queen T is doing.
Right. Scaling a voice, which is her methodology, means you actually do the grueling human labor of observation first.
You sit there and watch the 24-hour live streams.
You take the meticulous notes.
You actually understand the shifting alliances between these creators.
Yes. And then, only then, you use the AI simply as a formatting engine.
Right, to broadcast that deeply human understanding wider and faster.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, it's like a master chef using a state-of-the-art food processor.
Oh, I love that analogy. Let's dig into that.
Yeah, so the machine chops the ingredients way faster than the chef could by hand.
Sure, which allows the chef to serve a lot more tables in a night.
Exactly. But the machine doesn't create the recipe.
Right.
It doesn't taste the dish as it cooks.
Mm.
And it certainly doesn't understand the culture or the history behind the cuisine it's helping to prepare.
The chef is still entirely in control of the final plate that goes out to the customer.
Exactly. The human palate is irreplaceable.
And the necessity of that methodology of keeping the chef in the kitchen becomes glaringly obvious the second you actually trust the AI to interpret the raw data on its own.
Oh, it falls apart so fast.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because when Queen T fed her notes into the AI to help structure a script, the technology didn't just, fail to capture the nuance.
No, it actively hallucinated a completely false reality.
It completely scrambled the basic mechanics of the different streaming apps.
Let's look at exactly how this happens because it's fascinating.
Think of it like this. Imagine sending an artificial intelligence to report on the Wimbledon tennis finals.
Okay.
But the only training data you've ever fed this AI is the NFL football playbook.
Right, so it has no concept of tennis.
Exactly. The AI sits there, it watches two people hitting a fuzzy green ball over a net, but it doesn't have the vocabulary or the structural understanding of tennis.
It doesn't know what a racket is or what love means in that context.
Right, so it processes the visual data, tries to force it to fit its limited internal model of football, and then confidently spits out a headline like, Serena Williams scores a massive touchdown in the third quarter.
That's a perfect way to put it. It recognizes the presence of athletic conflict.
Yeah.
It knows there's a winner and a loser, but it completely hallucinates the actual architecture of the game.
Exactly. And that is precisely what the AI did to Queen T's reporting on these live streaming subcultures.
It looked at platforms that are as different as, apples and chainsaws.
Yeah. And it saw that viewers were giving money to creators, so it just lumped everything into one giant generic bucket labeled gifts or donations.
And worse, it assumed that a highly specific feature called text-to-speech.
Or TTS, yeah, that robotic voice we talked about in the kitchen example earlier.
Right, it assumed that TTS chaos was a universal constant across all these apps.
It assumed an anonymous robotic voice was the thing causing the drama everywhere.
We really have to analyze why a large language model defaults to that generic bucket in the first place.
Yeah, why does it make that leap?
Well, an LLM does not know facts in the way a human understands reality.
Right.
It doesn't have a concept of truth. It is essentially just a vastly complex prediction engine.
It's just doing math on words.
Exactly. It analyzes massive data sets of text and calculates the statistical probability of the next word in a sequence.
Okay.
So when you ask it to summarize highly specific, rapidly evolving, hyper-niche internet drama,
Just doesn't have enough data.
right, it lacks sufficient training data on that specific subculture. The slang is too new, the tech features change too fast.
So it basically panics and guesses based on broad stereotypes.
Essentially, yes. It relies on generalized statistical averages.
So, in the AI's internal logic, the concept of live streaming often correlates with the words donations and chatbots.
Exactly. Therefore, it homogenizes the data. It applies those generic labels to every platform, completely erasing the localized architecture of the specific app.
But wait, I want to push back on that for just a sec.
Okay, go for it.
Put yourself in the shoes of a listener who doesn't spend their life watching Big O or Kick.
Fair enough.
To an outsider, don't all these platforms look practically identical?
I mean, superficially, maybe?
Right. You open an app, you see a person sitting in their bedroom talking to a camera, and there's a scrolling chat box next to their face.
Sure.
Whether it's called a gift or a subscription, whether it's a typed message or a robotic voice, doesn't it all just boil down to people on the internet arguing for attention?
I see where you're going.
Does getting the exact widget wrong actually change the fundamental journalism?
Oh, it absolutely does. It
Yeah.
changes the entire foundation of the reality you are reporting.
How so?
If you get the widget wrong, you completely misunderstand human motivation.
Okay, explain that.
Think about physical spaces in the real world. The way you behave in a silent, dimly lit library is fundamentally different from the way you behave in a crowded, neon-lit nightclub.
Oh, totally. You'd never scream across a library.
Exactly. The physical architecture, the lighting, the acoustics, the spatial arrangement of the chairs, it dictates your social norms.
Right.
It dictates your volume, your level of aggression, your interactions with strangers.
Okay, I'm following you.
Well, digital platforms function exactly the same way.
The interface is the room.
Yes. The features, the user interface, the monetization methods, these are the structural walls of that digital room.
Wow, okay. So if the AI claims that a robotic voice caused a massive fight on a platform where that TTS feature doesn't even natively exist,
Then you are no longer reporting reality. You are reporting a fiction that completely misunderstands the financial and social context of why those human beings were arguing in the first place.
because they weren't arguing with a robot, they were arguing with each other.
Right. You miss the pressure points. You miss the actual incentives driving the behavior.
You basically turn a complex sociological interaction into this confusing, flat rumor.
Exactly. Which proves exactly why Queen T cannot let the AI write the narrative.
The human has to hold the reins.
To understand how drastically these invisible architectures change human behavior, we have to actually look at the specific platforms the AI completely misinterpreted.
Let's do it. Let's start with the first major ecosystem that Queen T covers, Big O Live.
The architecture of BIGO is such a fascinating study in digital confrontation.
So first things first, let's correct the AI's hallucination right out of the gate.
Good idea.
Big O Live does not natively feature room-blasting text-to-speech.
It doesn't exist out of the box.
Right. According to Queen T's reporting, if a broadcaster wants to use a robotic voice to read their chat, it doesn't just happen automatically.
They'd have to go way out of their way to rig up an entirely separate external application.
Yeah, and the major characters she covers in this specific subculture are creators like Mara, 21, SCPA, God Zeus, Regina George, and Ebi Mado. They aren't doing that.
Right.
The drama on Bigo is not being sparked by some anonymous chatbot.
So, if it's not an invisible voice causing the chaos, what is the actual mechanism driving the conflict?
It is intensely uncomfortably human.
Okay.
Bigo operates heavily on what is called the panel system.
The panel system, break that down for me.
So instead of just one person broadcasting to a silent audience of text in a chat.
Like a traditional stream.
Right. The platform utilizes these split-screen video boxes.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a massive, highly public video conference call.
Like a Zoom meeting, but for digital drama.
Exactly. The host has the power to bring multiple viewers or other creators directly onto the screen at the exact same time.
That is a profound psychological shift from a standard text chat.
It really is.
I mean, you are entirely stripping away the anonymity of the keyboard.
Yeah.
You're forcing visual, face-to-face accountability.
Think about it. It's the difference between someone leaving a nasty comment on your Instagram photo, right?
Yeah.
Versus someone literally kicking open your front door, walking into your living room, looking you dead in the eye, and screaming at you in front of 1,000 people.
Wow. Yeah, that's a whole different level of intensity.
And the platform culture on Bigo has evolved specifically to exploit this architecture.
Of course it has.
Queen T documents the heavy use of what they call messy callers.
Just the terminology itself is revealing, isn't it? Messy caller.
It tells you everything you need to know. A messy caller is exactly what it sounds like.
Sure.
It's an individual who is purposefully brought up onto the live video panel specifically to stir the pot.
Oh, wow. So they're weaponized?
Basically, yeah. They are elevated to the main stage to hash out grievances live, to confront another creator directly, or to drag these dark rumors into the blinding light of a public audience.
It's such an aggressive gladiatorial dynamic.
Totally gladiatorial.
You're pulled into the box, the camera light flips on, and you have to defend yourself in real time. There's no time to type out a measured response.
You can't just log off or ignore it without looking weak.
We really have to analyze the emotional labor required to survive in that specific environment.
Yeah, it's intense.
Panel politics, as Queen T calls it, rewards highly specific personality traits.
Like what?
Well, it rewards rapid-fire charisma, extreme verbal agility, and just a massively high tolerance for direct visual confrontation.
You have to be quick on your feet.
Exactly. If you freeze under pressure, or if you're the kind of person who requires time to compose your thoughts before speaking,
You're doomed.
the architecture of the BO panel will just eat you alive.
And we haven't even touched the gasoline that gets poured on this fire yet.
Oh, the money.
The money. Because these people aren't just yelling at each other for the love of the game.
They're not doing it for free.
No, they are operating inside a highly gamified virtual economy.
Right.
Big O doesn't just use like a simple tipping button. It utilizes this massive catalog of virtual gifts.
Virtual gifts.
Yeah, viewers spend real money to purchase digital items. And we aren't talking about little digital stickers here. We are talking about virtual dragons, castles, rockets.
Wow.
And these aren't subtle at all. When someone gifts a dragon, it doesn't just quietly appear in the corner.
What does it do?
It takes over the entire screen in this massive, flashy visual spectacle.
Oh, so it interrupts the actual visual stream.
Completely. And these gifts then translate into a digital currency called beans.
Beans.
Yeah, and the creators eventually cash these beans out for actual fiat currency, real money to pay their rent.
This is where the UI design manipulates human psychology so incredibly effectively.
How so?
The platform literally transforms financial support into a Veblen good.
A Veblen good. Break that down.
It's an economics term. It means a luxury item whose appeal is specifically tied to its public display of wealth and status.
Ah, like a Rolex or a sports car.
Exactly. The value is in making sure everyone else sees you buy it.
Right.
So on Bigo, you aren't just quietly sliding a $5 bill into a tip jar at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
You're dropping a $1,000 digital rocket onto a split-screen argument, specifically to prove that you have the power to do so.
To assert dominance over the room.
Exactly. The viewer is purchasing social dominance within that specific digital room.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. They are heavily incentivized to drop these massive visual spectacles during moments of peak emotional intensity.
So when the argument is at its absolute worst.
Right. The creator who provides the most visceral, engaging conflict is rewarded with the most visual wealth from the audience.
It's a feedback loop.
It creates a massive dopamine feedback loop. The screen flashes, the digital dragon roars, the creator receives financial validation.
And the audience receives the thrill of direct influence over the drama. When you lay it out like that, Big O Live sounds like a high-stakes telethon mashed up with a digital coliseum.
That's a very accurate description. The conflict itself is the product.
And this is exactly why the AI summary was so dangerously reductive.
It completely missed the point.
The AI just looked at Bigo and said, people are arguing because of chatbots and donations.
Right.
It completely missed the pride, the ego, the adrenaline of the face-to-face showdown.
The literal human face is staring at each other.
Exactly. And the aggressive hustle for these virtual status symbols.
The machine just saw data moving from point A to point B.
But the journalist, Queen T, she saw human beings bleeding onto a digital stage for beans.
That is the crucial difference. You need the human context.
You really do. But, the digital landscape never stays still.
It's always evolving.
Right. So if Big O is this face-to-face digital arena, what happens when the very architecture of the app shifts?
When the rules change.
Exactly. What happens when the platform is designed to actually strip away that face-to-face accountability we just talked about?
And replace it with what?
And replace it by allowing the audience to become an invisible, screaming entity right inside your physical home.
That sounds like a nightmare. Let's move to the next ecosystem Queen T tracks.
Yes, let's look at Kick Live.
Now, this is where the boundary between digital interaction and physical reality begins to completely deteriorate.
It really does. Kick operates under a totally different set of rules than Bigo.
Okay.
On Kick, Queen T reports heavily on creators who run IRL, or in real-life streams.
Right.
A prime example she focuses on is a creator named Mage.
Okay.
They streams from actual physical locations like the Messy Mage Content House.
A content house, meaning multiple creators living under one roof.
Exactly. He shares this space with other big personalities like Bossman and 21. And we aren't talking about a 1-hour evening broadcast here.
How long are the streams?
These are intensive 24-hour continuous streams. He is broadcasting his actual living space around the clock.
A 24-hour continuous broadcast from a shared residential space is inherently volatile.
Total.
I mean, you are completely removing the concept of offstage.
There's nowhere to hide.
Right. Every argument over doing the dishes, every
Yeah.
moment of physical fatigue, it's all content.
But the volatility isn't just coming from the roommates getting on each other's nerves.
Where else is it coming from?
Kick focuses its monetization heavily on direct channel subscriptions and cash tips.
Okay.
And the culture of the platform is entirely shaped by this specific third-party integration that creators connect to their stream.
And what's that called?
It's called Kickbot.
Kickbot. And this is the text-to-speech mechanism the AI assumed was everywhere, right?
Yes, this is where the AI got confused. But we need to understand how visceral this specific integration actually is in practice.
Walk me through it.
So when a viewer sends a cash tip or pays for a subscription on Kick, they can type a message.
Standard enough.
Right. But Kickbot takes that text, converts it into a loud, automated robotic audio file, and blasts it directly through a physical speaker into the actual room where the creators are living and streaming.
So we return to your opening kitchen scenario.
Exactly. The audience is weaponizing audio.
Think about the sociological implications of that.
It's wild.
The audience isn't confined to a scrolling text box on a screen anymore.
No.
They are essentially paying a toll to cross the digital divide and inject their thoughts, their insults, their rumors directly into the physical acoustics of the content house.
It is the ultimate breakdown of the fourth wall.
It really is. In traditional media, the audience just observes the fishbowl
When
rant.
you watch the show, you turn off the TV.
Exactly. But on Kick, the audience is paying $5 to tap aggressively on the glass.
Or to drop a localized toxin into the water just to see how the fish react.
Exactly. It's the democratization of disruption.
That's a great phrase. You don't have to be on a split-screen panel like Big O.
Right.
You don't have to show your face or use your real name.
You have total anonymity.
You can just hide behind an anime avatar, punch in your credit card, and force a robot to scream an insult at someone while they are literally trying to sleep on their couch.
It's invasive.
Highly invasive.
Queen T's notes specifically point out how this feature actively disrupts the physical house environment. The viewers are literally throwing matchsticks into a powder keg.
We really have to consider the psychological toll this takes on the creators.
It has to be
To
exhausting.
succeed on this platform, you are essentially trading the sanctity of your physical environment for capital.
Wow. Yeah.
You're agreeing to live in a panopticon.
Right.
Great.
Yeah. Everyone can see you all the time.
Yes. But in this panopticon, the guards are just a constantly shifting mass of anonymous internet users who are financially incentivized to provoke you.
Because that's what generates the content.
Exactly. Because remember, the creator only gets paid when the bot reads the message.
So they need the abuse to keep the lights on.
The architecture financially rewards the creator for enduring psychological distress. It's monetized psychological warfare.
It really is.
And look at the stark contrast between Bigo and Kick.
They are night and day.
On Bigo, the platform demands that you show your face and argue with your chest.
Visual accountability.
Right. On Kick, the platform empowers the audience to act as an unhinged, invisible producer.
Directing the mood of the physical room from the complete safety of their keyboards.
And this highlights exactly why Queen T's editorial intervention, her human journalism, was so mandatory.
Oh, absolutely. If the AI hallucinates and writes a summary saying, the creators in the Messy Mange house argued over a digital GIF.
Has completely failed at journalism.
Completely.
Ah.
Because that's not what happened.
Not at all.
The truth is, the creators in the house engaged in a real-world physical confrontation because an anonymous paying audience member utilized a robotic audio integration to inject a malicious rumor directly into their living room.
See, that is the real story.
The technological widget did not just facilitate the argument, it architected the event.
The tech dictates the human behavior.
And the AI just fundamentally lacks the contextual awareness to understand that distinction.
Okay, so we've mapped the gladiatorial panels of Bigo, and we've mapped the invisible, screaming panopticon of Kick.
Okay.
But as we said, internet subcultures are incredibly migratory.
They never stay in one place for long.
No. Creators are fiercely pragmatic business people.
They have to be.
They are constantly seeking the optimal environment for their content, their sanity, and frankly, their income.
Right.
And according to Queen T's reporting, we are currently witnessing a massive shift in the landscape right now.
So where is the attention economy moving to today?
It is moving toward a highly gamified, heavily abstracted new frontier, TikTok Live.
TikTok. Interesting.
Queen T notes that a flood of the Bigo elite, like massive established stars like Dre Baby, are actively transitioning away from the face-to-face panel warfare of Bigo, and they're setting up shop on TikTok.
And why are they making that jump?
When asked why, the reasoning is brutal in its simplicity. They say, that's where the crowd is going.
Well, when the audience migrates, the capital migrates.
Exactly.
And the creators have basically no choice but to follow the liquidity if they want to survive.
Yeah, but by changing platforms, they are entirely changing the architectural rules of engagement again.
Right, because TikTok is a completely different universe.
Totally different. TikTok Live does not rely on Bigo's aggressive face-to-face panels as its primary engine for interaction.
Okay.
And it doesn't default to the raw, disruptive audio of Kickbot either.
So what is the engine on TikTok?
TikTok has built its live streaming culture around the integration of an external application called Tickfinity.
Tickfinity. How does the architecture of Tickfinity alter the relationship between the creator and the audience?
It abstracts the interaction even further from reality.
Abstract how?
So Tickfinity connects to the live stream and utilizes highly complex interactive triggers and visual game alerts.
Okay, visual alerts.
Right. We aren't just talking about a robot reading text anymore. On TikTok, specific virtual GIFs automatically trigger custom sounds or massive flashing graphics on the screen.
Oh, wow.
Or even automated physical tasks that the streamer has to perform on command.
So it moves entirely away from like text and audio provocation and evolves into this multi-sensory interactive loop.
Exactly. Visualize it like this. Instead of the raw, stressful chaos of a robotic voice screaming in your kitchen.
Like on Kick?
Right. Tickfinity transforms the live stream into a hyperkinetic arcade game.
An arcade game.
The human streamer is essentially reduced to a character inside the game, and the audience holds the joystick.
That's a brilliant way to conceptualize it.
The viewers use these microtransactions to dictate what flashes on the screen, what chaotic sound effect interrupts the silence, and how the streamer is forced to physically react.
That is a profound evolution.
It really is.
If we track the trajectory across these three platforms we've discussed, we see a really clear progression in how human interaction is being engineered by tech.
Let's trace it.
We begin on Bigo, which still sort of mimics traditional human confrontation.
Right, it's face-to-face.
It's visually accountable. It's driven by personal ego. Then we shift to Kick, which removes the visual accountability entirely.
It replaces it with auditory disruption.
Yes, where the audience becomes an invisible provocateur. And finally, we arrive at TikTok, where the confrontation is heavily gamified.
The human element is wrapped in layers of flashing neon lights and cartoon sound effects.
Precisely. Tickfinity basically turns the live broadcast into a collaborative or sometimes highly adversarial digital toy.
A digital toy, yeah.
And that fundamentally alters the tone of the drama.
How so?
Well, when two creators have a conflict on Bigo, it feels visceral and dangerous, right?
Because they're looking at each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when two creators have a conflict on TikTok, and it is entirely fueled by an audience spamming microtransactions to trigger exploding cartoon roses on the screen.
The emotional weight is completely different.
Totally different. The hostility is obscured by the UI design of an arcade cabinet.
Which means a journalist has to employ a completely different analytical framework to report on it.
Absolutely.
You cannot accurately cover a TikTok Tickfinity stream using the exact same vocabulary you use for a Kick IRL stream.
It wouldn't make any sense.
The architecture is different, the financial incentives are different, the psychological toll on the creator is different.
And this brings us right back full circle to the catastrophic failure of the large language model.
The generic bucket.
Yes. An AI processing billions of text tokens cannot feel the atmospheric shift from a visceral argument on Bigo to a gamified interaction on TikTok.
It has no emotional barometer.
It cannot understand the sheer exhaustion a creator feels when an invisible audience controls the acoustics of their actual physical house.
It just sees a statistical correlation between the word streamer and the word drama.
And it shrugs. It lumps the Bigo panel, the Kickbot audio, and the Tickfinity visual triggers into one generic, homogenized bucket.
And if we rely on that machine to document our history, we lose the truth.
we completely lose the truth of how these systems are actually rewiring human behavior in real time.
Which perfectly validates Queen T's central thesis.
Yes, it does. The human journalist is not just a luxury in the algorithmic age. They are an absolute necessity.
The journalism belongs to me. It has to.
It has to.
Because algorithms and AI text tools are undeniably brilliant at organizing raw data. We can't deny that.
No, they're amazing tools. They can transcribe an hour of screaming audio in 3 seconds.
They can instantly generate a list of every single user who entered a chat room during a specific time frame.
But as Queen T writes, they do not know the streets.
They don't know the street.
They do not understand the tech backend in a practical way. And they fundamentally do not understand the irrational, messy, emotionally driven reality of human behavior.
Context requires a pulse, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Empathy requires physical existence.
Yeah.
An AI cannot comprehend the sheer desperation of a creator chasing virtual beings on Bigo just to pay their real-world rent.
It can't understand the paranoia of living in the messy mage house waiting for the speaker to scream at you.
Exactly. Speaking of physical existence, Queen T actually grounds her reporting in her own humanity in these notes.
Yes, she does. She shares a very personal update with her teacups.
What does she say?
She explains that she has to step back temporarily. She is facing an upcoming surgery, and she literally needs time away from the screens to physically heal.
Right.
But she promises her audience that her dedication is unwavering, and she will return full-time.
It's a stark but really necessary reminder.
It is.
We spend so much time analyzing these ethereal digital spaces, right?
The virtual dragons, the disembodied voices, the digital beings.
Yeah, but behind every avatar, behind every microphone, and behind the keyboard of the journalist documenting it all, there is a physical human body.
A body that requires rest, that feels pain, and that ultimately anchors all this digital madness to the real world.
That's beautifully put.
So I want to throw a forward-looking question your way based on everything we've unpacked today.
Okay, I'm ready.
The technology isn't stopping.
Not at all.
These platforms are going to keep inventing new bots, new virtual currencies, new ways to extract money by manipulating human conflict.
That's a guarantee.
Given the rapid advancement of large language models, will the AI eventually catch up?
Catch up to what, exactly?
Will the machine eventually learn to map the streets? Or is the digital landscape just too fundamentally human, too messy for an algorithm to ever truly conquer?
That is the defining question for the future of information, really.
Where do you land on it?
My analysis is that the AI will undoubtedly get better at categorizing the mechanics.
So it'll stop confusing Kickbot with a Bigo panel.
Right. In 3 years, an LLM will probably have enough training data to perfectly distinguish between a Tickfinity trigger and a Kick audio file.
Okay.
It will map the what with incredible precision, but it will continually fail to graft the why.
Because the why isn't in the code.
Exactly. The why is rooted in human nature. Human journalism demands precision because it is ultimately documenting the human condition.
Yeah.
A journalist's lived experience. Their ability to cross-reference a digital claim against physical reality.
Their deep understanding of the subtle shift in a creator's tone of voice.
Yes. Or their grasp of newly formed slang that hasn't even hit a data set yet. These are deeply human competencies.
Empathy cannot be coded into a predictive text engine.
It just can't. An AI can tell you that a transaction occurred at 3:00 a.m. But it takes a Queen T to tell you why that specific transaction broke a creator's spirit.
Or why it sparked a platform-wide feud, or built a digital empire.
The machine processes the data, but the journalist translates the humanity.
That's the perfect way to summarize it.
And Queen T's methodology, relentlessly using the AI to scale her reach, to process the sheer volume of content, while fiercely protecting the integrity and the soul of her reporting, is the exact blueprint for how we survive this new frontier.
She isn't hiding from the technology, and she isn't surrendering to it.
No, she's wielding it.
She's refusing to let the machine define the reality she is observing.
So let's briefly recap the massive terrain we've covered in this deep dive.
We covered a lot of ground today.
We really did. We started with the transparent AI-assisted journalism of Queen T, a real credentialed reporter demanding that her human voice remain at the absolutely center of the narrative.
We explored the blind spots of AI, analyzing how large language models hallucinate the architecture of subcultures They just lack the data to understand.
We examine the Bigo Live panel system, dissecting the intense psychology of face-to-face digital confrontation and the UI loops that monetize the display of virtual wealth.
We felt the sheer chaos of the KickLive architecture, analyzing how Kickbot obliterates the fourth wall and turns an invisible audience into disruptive paying producers inside a physical living room.
And we tracked the great migration of digital talent over to TikTok Live, where Tickfinity abstracts human conflict into a gamified microtransaction arcade experience.
All of this proving that you simply cannot separate the human drama from the technical widget.
The unseen mechanics dictate the culture.
And only a human journalist, someone who actually walks the digital pavement, can accurately report on that nuance.
It has been a profound look at the invisible forces engineering our communication.
It really has.
As we wrap up, I want to turn this directly to you, the listener. I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on.
Always good to end with a provocation.
We've spent this time analyzing how highly specific, extreme platforms like Bigo and Kick dictate the behavior of live streamers, right?
Right.
And it's really easy to look at those ecosystems as bizarre outliers, like, oh, that's just those crazy streamers, that has nothing to do with me.
But it does.
It does. The underlying principle applies to absolutely everyone.
We are all operating inside invisible architectures.
Precisely. Consider the specific design of the apps you use every single day. Look at your phone right now.
The ones you don't even think about anymore.
Exactly. The exact shape of the buttons, the specific color of the notifications, the algorithm dictating the layout of your feed. These features don't just neutrally facilitate your ability to text your friends.
They are actively architecting how you treat other human beings.
The interface sets the emotional baseline.
If the platform is designed to reward rapid, unnuanced outrage with viral visibility,
You will find yourself expressing outrage.
if the UI rewards endless scrolling, you will lose your capacity for sustained attention.
If a simple tech widget like an automated text-to-speech bot can fundamentally turn a chat room into a virtual war zone inside a physical house, what invisible mechanics are shaping your own digital behavior right now?
Are you actually in control of how you interact online?
Or are you just following the psychological pathways laid down by a UI designer in Silicon Valley?
It's a sobering thought.
What kind of journalism do we need to accurately map the muddy waters of your own online life? Think about the invisible walls of the room the next time you open an app. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.